Hi, I'm George. I'm just going to go over the steam unit for you, start to finish. On operation, we come over here and we have your water inlet hose connected. If you're depending on what you're feeding off, we're feeding off the pump. We're going to feed right here, and then you've got your water tank in the back with a fill hose that you can keep it filled up. It's got a flow control valve, so it'll always keep it in the tank filled without overfilling. The valve in this position here is actually, when it's in the upright position, is actually feeding off the tank in the back. We've got a pressure gauge up here in the front to see the pressure off the pump, and really we've got this one set for around 700 psi, and we are running steam in this one here. Here's if you're not running off the tank in the back, you can close this down and run off the flow control. If you're going to run and need to de-lime the system when it comes to time to do de-liming, you'd actually connect over here, take your hose, put it inside here, and actually run the acid through the system to de-lime the coil, and that's pretty relevant on a hot water pressure washer, but more important on a steam unit. It's got a general pump here, just like one of the big high pressure pumps, and it's capable of a lot of pressure, but we're not running it. And instead of putting a real small pump on it, we put one of the heavy duty pumps on them. Also got a regular unloader. Looks going to be look like a 3,000 psi pressure washer here, but we're turning these much slower. On the front here, just to walk over it, we have a temperature controller. It's an over switch. I believe Dave has it set for around 390 degrees. And when the temperature gets too high, the switch will actually, for some reason, it'll actually pop off, and then you have to actually reset it. But in normal running, it's just going to run at that certain rate, and that's going to be, it's telling you something's wrong. Coil's starting to plug up, overheating, and that's when that would pop off. We have a switch up here that actually turns the burner on and off, and so that's what controls the burner off and off. And walking in the back here, we've got, basically you can see it, the battery here for the to start the unit, and then also we have your Wayne burner up in the bottom side here with all the controls and the actual burner unit. This one here is running 760,000 BTUs on this one here, and so you basically have to dial in the steam units. On the side here, got a 3,000 watt generator that's built in. It runs off the diesel motor, and then on a diesel motor here, and this one here, we have a fuel pump down here in the bottom. You have a switch here. If you're going to run it, you actually have to turn the switch on. You actually hear it, the diesel pump, to keep the diesel running. Then you can start the diesel up. It'll come up for a couple seconds. It'll come up to speed there, and really everything at that point is pretty much operational. You'll have the on that point, you've got the fuel tank here. It's a 50-gallon fuel tank. We have a sight gauge built in there, so you can fill it from the opposite side and put your diesel fuel in it. Both the burner and the engine run off the same fuel source. On the wand itself, it's a regular true steam wand, and I think we have probably almost, I don't know, there's close to probably 40 foot of steam holes on it, but it's regular steam gun, so it's on, off. And on a steam gun, you'll see a little bit of weeping of steam coming out of when you're actually running it. There's other things there. When you're done with the unit, you come over, you shut the burner off, and like you're supposed to in a hot water pressure washer, and keep running it with the burner off until you've got a regular just flow of water coming out before you start shutting it up. Up on the top, you've got a temperature steam gauge. A steam cleaner takes a few minutes for it to build up the temperature, but then it'll actually just build up there, and it'll just hold that steady steam pressure for you. That's other than looking at the operator's manual on the diesel, that's just a pretty quick overview of it. And the more important thing about it is, one, we're not going to overpressurize it by the nozzles. It's very important to keep the correct nozzles and orifice sizes in here. Because if you don't, if you put too big a one in here, it'll end up it won't come up to temperature. You put too small of one in here, it's restricting keeping the water in there, and it'll actually get too hot. So it's real important. You just can't go to places, hey, I need a steam nozzle. You got to know the orifice size and make sure that maintains, because everything right now is balanced between the two: the burn, the nozzle size, and the water flow. But if you change one, if you increase the burn, then you'll actually have hotter and hotter steam coming out, and then it gets it's pretty warm. you'll see in that 300, 350 degree range, this thing is cooking. So, if you got any more questions, give us a call. You can keep the, run the thing with the doors open, get good ventilation in throughout the unit. And you can run the off-road diesel. It's a little bit cheaper, but typically if you come up fuel up, just get off-road diesel for it.